I'm Charles Ayittey. Tonight, Fitch Solutions is projecting a further monetary tightening by the Bank of Ghana next year. According to the UK-based research and market information firm, the policy rate will go up by a further 200 basis points or 2% to 29%. Now, this will trigger an increase in the cost of credit and consequently heighten the cost of doing business in the country. Mike Kruinger is the senior country risk analyst at Fitch Solutions and has been speaking about Ghana's economic outlook for next year.
We also note that the impact of significant monetary tightening in 2022 will restrict corporate and household access to credit and thus weigh on fixed investment and private consumption through 2023, further slowing economic growth. And this is reflected by the chart on the left-hand side, which shows the Bank of Ghana's aggressive monetary tightening cycle in 2022. We believe that this tightening cycle isn't over just yet, and that the central bank will hike by an additional 200 basis points to 29% by the end of 2023. Indeed, if we look at real interest rates, it becomes clear that the Bank of Ghana has a history of keeping those real interest rates in positive territory. So this informs our view that despite price growth reaching a disinflation path next year, the bank will keep raising rates in order to achieve those positive real interest rates in 2023, albeit at a slower pace compared to 2022.
Now, reacting to this, financial and banking analyst Christian Techijan says banks will slow down lending to the private sector come next year. Speaking earlier on the marketplace, he urged organizations to judiciously use the operational funds to keep their businesses running.
What is happening with the debt exchange program and all of that, liquidity is actually going to be stifled in the system as far as the banks are concerned. So this definitely is a very big discouragement to them. Some might not even be getting access to those credits. I'm suspecting that a lot of the banks will be doing the consumables and the fast-moving consumable products. So as much as possible, you should stay away from credit because so far as the cost goes high, and then they being rational economic agents and trying to bill the final consumer with these costs is going to get very, very interesting. So we are expecting that definitely people who are really not in dire need of credit support should stay away and try to turn around with their operational funds to ensure that there is a bit of stability in the business model that they are actually applying.
And how does this impact on the banking sector?
Yes, a lot, because if you look at what the government is trying to do with the debt exchange program, it actually anticipates that there's going to be liquidity challenges, and therefore it has set up that liquidity support of about 15 billion to help with the financial institutions. But for me, it's not going to be enough. It's also put up certain measures where the daily vault balances are actually reviewed here and there. The costs to all of these hikes are sometimes it gets quite interesting, but definitely and generally things are going to get very stiff for a lot of the universal banks in struggling for liquidity.
Economist and professor of finance at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Godfred Bokpen is warning of the collapse of the financial sector if government includes treasury bills in the debt exchange program. He, however, does not expect the government to rope in treasury bills into the debt exchange program because that is its only source of borrowing. Speaking on the Joy FM Super Morning Show, Professor Bokpen expressed unhappiness about the inclusion of the individual bondholders in the program, describing the move as a wholesale approach. He adds that if care is not taken, the balance sheet of the banks will weaken after the program.
I am not expecting that in the immediate government will make any announcement of roping in treasury bills. What it will mean is that the regime will collapse because that is the only source of funding now to the government, apart from Bank of Ghana essentially sustaining the government on its balance sheet. Okay, so but the way things are going is very difficult to trust government and their statement. That's unfortunate, right? So, but for now, government will keep that window open as a way of interacting with the market. From the approach government has adopted and the terms is that by the time we are done, if government is unwilling to accommodate further revision to the terms of the domestic exchange, we will systematically weaken the balance sheet of the participating financial institutions.
Prices of crude oil, shipping charges, exchange rate, among other factors this year, are said to have impacted negatively on businesses locally, with GASM being no exception. The cement producer, however, believes that despite the impact on production and distribution, 2023 could paint a better picture for businesses. Commercial manager for GASM Limited, Tema Kwesi was speaking at the swearing-in of new executives of Greater Accra Distributors Union for GASM, of which our correspondent Kwame Yanka has more in this report.
For GASM Limited, 2022 could be largely described as a challenging year due to how external and internal factors negatively affected cement production and distribution. Representing management at the swearing-in of the new executives, commercial manager for GASM, Tema Kwesi urged the distributors to stay committed to the GASM brand. He is hopeful for the business year ahead.
Basically, from the international environment, it has been very, very challenging, as well as our local environment over here. I think we have all felt it this year, and I pray that next year bring joy to our distributors. Next year bring joy to the business that we are in, and next year bring joy to individual homes. It is because of our distributors, our cherished distributors, that we exist.
Chair of GASM Distributors Union, Greater Accra Region, Issa Sai, who retained his seat, has identified a number of issues to tackle. These include reorganizing the distributors in the region, the need to sell at competitive prices, avoiding outrageous profits, among others.
If I say we have more to do, is the distributors in Greater Accra. We have a direct retailers and we have indirect retailers. And I have to tackle the direct retailers and talk to them, having meetings with them so that we can all sell at the local market equally, not to cripple some of the distributors. And we have to work and get profit so that we can pay our taxes as well.
Meanwhile, organizer for the union, Robert Annan, would want to see the city perform much better, as well as reduction in fuel prices.
The challenges we have is about the fuel and then the dollar. So Ghana is like, we are not using dollars here, but most of our big business people, they do use dollar to buy goods from outside. So because of that, it's like we have facing challenges on the dollar. It's like the dollar is going down, and I heard that it will go down more, and the fuel too, by the next year, 2023, it will come down more, because I heard the government now is going to change the fuel with a good, because we have a lot of good in the country. So it's like the government, he thinks that if we use the good to exchange the fuel, it will benefit us and to let the cost of the living in the country will be coming down.
The executive body will steer affairs of the distributors over the next 4 years.
Now, the chief executive of the Agribusiness Chamber, Anthony Morrison, has said the prices of foodstuff will continue to increase if farmers do not get the needed support. Government in the 2023 budget announced an agric insurance package for farmers, but speaking on the marketplace, Mr. Morrison said farmers rather need support with cost of production, and that should be prioritized rather than investment in insurance.
As far as the cost of farming an acre of rice, maize, soya continue to increase, you expect that the farmers will also increase their cost of production to be able to mitigate the investment that they are putting into it. So these are very important things that we need to look at. We need to talk look at the national kind of policy, what kind of mitigation points. For instance, government is talking about the economic enclave project. For me, we're having about 3 million farmers who are in need of serious support. So I don't believe in that kind of economic enclave project, okay? Because it is industrial driven. Now we are more talking about food security, where Ghana's food security index has reduced. We have seen in the budget some $400 and something million being made available for insurance. Meanwhile, the cost of the production or productivity in the agriculture sector continue to reduce. So why do you put money into insurance when we do not even have the food at all?
Okay.
So government, for me, have to set out their priorities right. We need to be engaging on global level as to what global trends are going and what we should do as a country to make sure that first we are food secure, two, we are able to drive the agro-industry export, and 3, we are able to provide enough for our own industry.
Now, some commercial drivers at the Techiman GPLT terminal are appealing to government to work towards the reduction in the prices of spare parts after they were urged to reduce it by 15%, of course, in respect to transport fares ahead of the festive season. But according to the drivers, the reduction in fares and the current hikes in spare parts means that those in transport trade are affected negatively. They want government to intervene or they revert to the old fares. Anas Abed has more on their concerns.
Christmas is here at last, and this morning we are here at the Techiman main station. Drivers have been urged to reduce their fares by some 15% here at the GPRT station for Kumasi vehicles. They used to charge 45 Ghana cedis per passenger. It's been reduced to 40 Ghana cedis. This is not a pleasant news to most of the drivers here. According to them, there are other spare parts that are currently high in terms of their prices, and so the reduction in fares is adversely affecting their businesses. They want government to intervene by urging other stakeholders, particularly those in the spare parts business, to also reduce the cost of those items.
The driver for yente so no create so yet a lot of us want to spare parts so tie or monte tie so and pure water cry yet 40 persons now no that so ton insurance or matum road wet or matum just say driver for yenya day
aban petrol na wate so kakra man no de pa but the person sire ne say ozante so bio man ukomagazi a spare parts ni nyina ya toto obi ante so Ankaka wura Techiman Joma, Nema Obia Yantiso, and so ye almost for say Yantiso, but the Abatiso, but the artisan almost who say, about money pa, our care who say, Chia Tisono, Oma Yad Mabia, Sontedia, Namano, Yanyahumaka. They said the ama baby, Cosrona baby come from their MY. So what matter petrol so dia, want to oil and then break man, Bibia at the car who be an assault Tiso. What I say, and you put on a handle car, put on the car near by name our car, the car near there, and until never know what a temper na a good can. Yes, I say, when your name and Wajma, Naya de be a petrol.
So as it stands, though there is a reduction in lorry fares as a result of the reduction in petroleum products at the pumps, the prices of other commodities, according to these drivers here, is putting them out of business. So they want government to intervene now, or they'll demonstrate and then return to their old fares.
All friend, the theater so there. Yeah, I feel the saga is here because no man can the great water there so. Almost to be beer, so big food, big bandio, will be almost to be beer. So, this is a buying this size. So, I tell you, so one summer or more beer, something there should be. And that's yes, available to us, yes, I'm told for you. Yeah.
Whilst these drivers are unhappy with the situation, some passengers we came across are excited with the reduction in fares and are appealing to other business entities to reduce the prices of their various commodities.
Say dear, Namen one Yadanasi say, on what it say, Lolly Fen Swamayan. If you say,
lolly fair no na bibia if say so obi be kwan nso akwafa ne ma lolly fair nti say ni de ya che lolly fair so no me nkwa de ye ma me pa edwade form ne ma bo edin up to now no mutim na edin omutim edin nti omonhwe no omontete ne ma so.
Regional Secretary to the GPRTU, Alhaji Nasir Farrar, on his part, cautioned drivers to drive with care throughout the Christmas season.
From the main Techiman Lorry station here in Techiman, my name is Anas Sabit reporting for Joy News.
Now, the Center for Policy Development, in collaboration with the Ghana Export Promotion Authority and the Northern Regional Coordinating Council, have launched the Northern Trade, Industrial and Investment Summit in Tamale. The event, which will be held in March next year, will look at the investment opportunities in the northern part of Ghana. Speaking at the launch of the summit, the Northern Regional Minister, Alhaji Sani Al-Hassan Saibu, said the region is hungry for investors to help build the area.
Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Sani Al-Hassan Shaibu highlighted the Northern region's potential at the launch of the Northern Trade, Industrial and Investment Summit to be organized by the Center for Policy Development in collaboration with the Ghana Export Promotion Authority and the Northern Regional Coordinating Council. The event, which will be held in March next year, will focus on investment, export activities and opportunities of the region. The event will also have an exhibition for people to showcase their products. Speaking at the event, the minister said the launch is timely because it will harness the full potential of the region.
It is an undeniable fact that the northern region are blessed with abundant natural agricultural resources, which, when harnessed, would enhance the position in the industrial sector of this part of the country. I dare say that it therefore behoves on us to take practical steps to maximize the benefits of these resources, taking a cue from other developed countries.
Speaking on the theme Improving Trade and Industry in Northern Ghana through Capacity Building and Investment, the Chief Executive Officer of SIPA, Dr. Ifua Asabia Asari, said the Ghana Export Development Strategy, which was formulated and launched in 2020, will provide strategic direction to Ghana's 9 traditional exports for the next 10 years.
Today's launch of the event is therefore to send the signal to all businesses and business support organizations, both public and private, to join forces with the organizers to ensure that NTIIS 2023 is successful and the maximum benefits derived therefrom.
The Executive Director of CPD Ghana, Ishmael Yehuza, said the launch is to send signals to SMEs and business owners to join forces with the organizers to ensure a successful summit.
The summit, which is expected to take place next year from 1st to 5th March, is expected to assemble businesses in the northern region to build their capacity to be able to enhance their production to serve the Ghanaian economy and also to export to the international market, more especially when the African continent is looking at creating a common market of goods and services.
And that'll be it for Business Live. I'm Charles Ayittey. For more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com. Thanks for your company. Enjoy the rest of our programs.